You made it! Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Roxy.
And the greatest driver.
Hayden.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Roxy.
owes me $5.
That's right, I do.
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Yes, safety. Very, very important. So, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or if you have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, and if at any time during the tour you drop your phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. And please, no smoking of any kind during the tour. And be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You'll want to have your cell phones and cameras out for great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. And finally, for your safety and the safety of those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while on board. We've officially left the theme park and we are headed down to our movie studio, which was founded by Carl Lemley, the gentleman wearing the black bow tie up on your screen. Now, he opened up our studio here in Southern California on March 15th of 1915, almost 110 years ago. And from the very beginning, Carl Lemley wanted people to see how the movies were made. So when he first opened, he had volunteers as walking around the line of the silent movies. Because once we started adding sound into the films, we had to call for quiet on set. Couldn't lead to those walking tours anymore. But then on July 15th of 1964, that's when Universal Studios introduced the world famous studio tour, which used to be a 2-hour driving tour on the red and white glamour trams. Now, coming up on the right side of the tram, you're going to see Fire Station 51. This is a very real fire station. We're actually our own city here at Universal. We have our own zip code, an honorary mayor, a fire station, a sheriff's department, 3 Starbucks, and a coffee bean and tea leaf. But what we don't have are residents. Nobody actually lives here in Universal City. And up ahead, you're going to be seeing a bunch of these buildings called sound stages. So a sound stage is like a large warehouse that's about 98 to 99% soundproof. We do the majority of our filming inside the sound stages because the amount of control and flexibility we have over the environment inside. Now, coming up at the bottom of the hill, on the left side of the tram, you're going to see Sound Stage 12. This is actually one of our oldest and largest sound stages here on the line. It used to be home to the NBC singing competition, Real Boys. But when this sound stage, you now up on your screens, you're going to see some pretty ugly movies all inside Sound Stage 12. So up on your screens, you're seeing the sets from Couples Retreat. They make it look like an outdoor resort inside the sound stages. And yet the largest stages have a pit inside of them that can be filled up with water for various production needs. Now, that's what a sound stage is serving those set aside. The material lining the walls is called Instagrill. It's helping to reduce the amount of echo you're going to get when you're filming in stages. Also, the walls of these buildings are 4 times thinner than your average building wall, keeping a lot of the outside noise from getting into your filming location. Now, over on the left, we're passing sound stages 8 and 7. They were used for the production Bel Air, which is a dramatic retelling of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, starring Jabari Banks. And you can catch 3 seasons streaming on Peacock. And Soundstage 7, the one right here on the corner, that was used for the iconic shower scene in the movie Psycho, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Now we're going to be seeing Soundstage 14 coming up on the left side of the tram. This is one of my favorites because it was used for the movie Jurassic Park, the scene where Tim and Lexi are up in a tree and then they get sneezed on by the brachiosaurs. So they made it look like the jungles of Costa Rica right inside of Soundstage 14. And this soundstage also used for the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas, directed by Ron Howard. And Ron Howard was no stranger to the soundstage. We also used it for Apollo 13, starring Tom Hanks. Now, Ron Howard really wanted to film in the actual mission control over in Houston, Texas, and NASA gave him the thumbs up. The only problem? Not enough room for all the filming equipment, so they ended up recreating mission control right here on the Universal lot. And then coming up on the right side of the tram, we're going to be seeing lots of sound stages. These ones are a little bit smaller than the ones we passed earlier. We actually use these mostly for television shows, so we've nicknamed this area Sitcom Row. So up on your screens, here are some of the more classic titles that have filmed inside of these sound stages. They were also used for shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I grew up watching that show. Now, more recently, these sound stages have been used for productions like Never Have I Ever, produced by Mindy Kaling and loosely based on her own adolescence. You can catch all 4 seasons streaming on Netflix. And then The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. They filmed a lot inside of Soundstage 19. To be the last soundstage coming up on the right side of the tram. Soundstage 19 also used for the movie Oppenheimer, which won an Academy Award for Best Picture. And it was specifically the Oval Office scenes that they did inside of Soundstage 19. Now keep an eye out on the left side of the tram. You are going to spot Ted, the teddy bear from the movies Ted and Ted 2. Ted has his own television series out. It is a prequel to the movies. It takes place when Ted and John are in high school, so around the year 1993. First season's already streaming on Peacock. We wrapped up filming for season 2 just a couple weeks ago. Also on the left are the production crews. So these bungalows house production companies like Mark Platt Productions, who brought Wicked to the movie theaters. We are very happy to announce that Wicked has been nominated for a Best Picture Oscar. Also a part of the Universal family is Focus Feature Films. They also have one of their movies, Conclave, which was nominated for a Best Picture as well. So very excited for this award season. And these bungalows actually used to be the dressing rooms of the big-time Hollywood stars of the 1950s and 60s, like Lucille Ball, Doris Day, Rock Hudson, and we even had director Alfred Hitchcock working out of one of these bungalows. We're going to see it coming up on the left, 5195. You'll recognize that silhouette. That is the silhouette of director Alfred Hitchcock, who was using the bungalow when he was filming Hitchcock Presents here on the lot. And now we get to see our newer sound stages, 25 and 26. So Soundstage 25 is where they filmed Lopez versus Lopez, starring George Lopez and his real-life daughter, Maya Lopez. And then right next door in Soundstage 26, they house the sets to a brand new show, St. Dennis Medical. It's a mockumentary-style comedy about a hospital up in Oregon. Stars David Allen Greer, Wendy McCullen-Covey, and Allison Tolman. It airs Tuesdays on NBC. It's also streaming on Peacock. And now we're crossing into the back lot where we have a lot of our large outdoor sets. Our Metropolitan sets are currently closed for the tour because they were being used for a big top-secret production. So we're only getting a peek at the concrete jungle as we head to the jungles of Skull Island from Peter Jackson's Lake Park.
It's the original Peacock baby director. I saw that movie on TV when I was around 8 or 9 years old. I like films that just take away from life. Cold literally does that. The ship is that into a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. It was great to have you on that ride. We have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have to put your glasses on. Don't put them on yet, just put in your hand for a boundary to Skull Island.
That's right. We're going to head into Skull Island. It's going to be a very bumpy ride, so make sure you're holding on tightly to those personal belongings and that we remain seated at all times.
Glasses on, everybody. We're back in Skull Island.
And they worked with Peter Jackson. They also worked on a big superhero films like Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, Avengers, Endgame, both Wonder Woman movies. They won their 7th Academy Award for Avatar: The Way of Water.
The audience is in the middle of the environment. So they're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. There's coming from this side. The T-Rex is being used.
In a movie, you always know they're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this, a lot of the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts.
Was this you might be able to
The shot is driving along the Skull Island where the screen is 10 meters away. We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
So over on the left, we are seeing behind our Metropolitan sets. So Metropolitan sets are one of the largest sets here on the lot. They can represent any large or small city from around the world. They were used in Captain America: The First Avenger. It was 1940s Brooklyn when Steve Rogers gets the super soldier serum and he's chasing after the Hydra agent. Also used in the Transformers film at the end when Shia LaBeouf is running down the streets of downtown LA and the buildings are exploding behind him. And then American Ninja Warrior when they do their semifinals and they're telling you they're filming from downtown Los Angeles. They are lying to you. They're here in the San Fernando Valley on a movie studio lot. It's because it takes almost a month to do that episode, and if they're filming in an actual city, it can get very expensive and very complicated. And now coming up on the right side of the tram, we're going to get to see our beautiful monster murals that were created for us by Tristan. So Tristan started off doing graffiti here in Los Angeles, went to school to learn classical art techniques, and now makes murals just like these all around the world. And in 2019, Universal invited Tristan down to the lot. He looked at the archival footage of our monster movies and ended up creating these gorgeous murals for us. He did this all freehand using spray cans. No stencils were involved, and we wanted to give an homage to those monsters. They really did help us out, especially during the Great Depression. Now, on the left side of the tram, you're going to see soundstage 30 and 31. That is where we now film The Voice. We've actually combined those two sound stages into one large one. And then next week, you'll see sound stages 32 and 33. That's where we film Happy's Place, starring Reba McEntire. And yes, Reba McEntire is also one of the coaches on The Voice. So she is a very busy lady, but you can see she does not have anywhere to travel. And then in front of those sound stages, that body of water, we call it Heart Lake, and it was used as the Amazon River for the creature from the Black Lagoon. Now, in a moment, you're going to see the Gilman up on your screen. They actually had to have two different actors portray him because his costume didn't have room for an oxygen tank. So they hired a professional diver who was able to hold his breath for a long period of time. And this allowed the camera crew to get footage of the Gilman actually swimming in the water. And there's a scene where the Gilman's in the water and he's reaching up for the lady as she swims above him. That scene inspired a young Guillermo del Toro. He was about 7 years old when he saw Creature from the Black Lagoon, and that scene inspired his imagination. He wanted to know why was the Gilman reaching out for the lady. So when he grew up to become a director, he went ahead and created the story himself in The Shape of Water, which won an Academy Award for Best Picture. Now, speaking of those monster movies, we are headed into our little Europe sets where many of the monster movies were filmed. But if you are a fan of The Good Place, you're going to recognize this area as the Afterlife.
I've never ever seen
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
It's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Now, coming up on the left for my Good Place fans, that is where you're going to see Clam Chowder Fountain, and then right in front of us is the main yogurt shop that had yogurt flavors like Fully Charged Cell Phone or Beyonce Compliments Your Hair. So why did they have so many yogurt shops in The Good Place? Well, that's because when they started writing the script, they actually had all the writers make a list of everything they would have in their own personal heaven, and every single writer put down frozen yogurt shop. So it became an inside joke with the production to fill up this location with frozen yogurt. Now, these sets, they have been used for various movies, like A Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement. This was the town of Genovia, and they had the Princess Parade. It was also used in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, starring Bernadette Peters, Brandy, and Whitney Houston. And these streets can be seen in a couple of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. So mainly the first one, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. The scene where you have Captain Jack Sparrow, he's running away from the Redcoats. So in that scene, they actually filmed it in 3 different locations. So the first part was filmed on location in the Caribbean. Then when he's getting chased through the streets of Port Royal by the Redcoats, that actually happened right over here up on the left. And then he hides behind the statue, and then the Redcoats run by him, and then he goes into the blacksmith shop. Now, once he enters the blacksmith shop, that was actually filmed over at Disney Studios, which is over in Burbank, about 15 minutes away. So it's really about editing that is going to take those 3 locations, combine them, and you, the audience, think that they're all filming in the same place at the same time. And also, these sets, they have a lot of history to them. Not only were they used for the monsters, we'll talk about that in a minute, but they were used for All's Quiet on the Western Front, which was Universal's very first win for Best Picture. This was back in the 1930s. So they used these sets as both France and Germany, because during that time period, wasn't really cost effective to be taking a cast and crew going all the way to Germany and also to France. And it's going to get pretty expensive during that time, where you can take these sets, decorate half the side to make it look like France, and then the other side to make it look like Germany. So then one day you're filming all your scenes that need to take place in Germany. The next day you switch your camera and then you face the other side of our European set. And this is done especially when productions want to film something that looks like they had to travel all the way to Europe, but they can do it right here in a very convenient location. We've had a few television series use this area as Paris, France. The Gilmore Girls, there was the episode where they're trying to find the best baguette in France. That was actually right here on these streets. Curb Your Enthusiasm, there was a scene, you have your characters are fighting over a parking spot. It actually happened right over here. Now, we tricked you into making it look like Paris, France by putting a green screen right at the end of the street, and then we went ahead and imposed the Eiffel Tower. Soundstage, you really don't have to worry about many of those issues. Now, folks, we're getting to the area that was used for many of those Universal monster movies, like Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, The Mummy, The Wolfman, The Bride of Frankenstein, The Son of Frankenstein. So a lot of those things actually took place right up on the right side of the tram. On the left side of the tram, you've got your train station that was usually the good place that would take folks to the medium place or the bad place. But the Court of Miracles, it was actually named after the film The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You had Quasimodo, who was portrayed by Lon Chaney. The villagers tied him up right in the center of that Court of Miracles. And they were not very nice to him, but then it was also used, you saw, for the gathering of the villagers for Frankenstein. So why was Universal doing so many monster movies? Well, they kind of stumbled onto the fact that those movies were popular because during the Great Depression, people wanted to see other people in a worse off position than themselves. They don't want to see the big MGM musicals where everybody's living their best life drinking champagne. No, they wanted to see these villagers being chased by undead creatures. And these movies were also very cost effective. We're reusing the same sets, the same actors, the same costumes, the same props. And then another way they were cost effective, well, Universal was basing these movies off of stories that were in the public domain, like the novel Frankenstein. Frankenstein was written by Mary Shelley back in the 1800s, before she was even 20 years old. And so when Universal went ahead and made the film in the 1930s, they didn't have to pay for the rights because it was already 100 years old. So they were saving money on that. And Frankenstein turned out to be a very popular film. It's the first time audiences had ever seen a monster like that up on the big screen. We'll have an opportunity to go inside of Soundstage 50. Soundstage 50 is what we would call a hot set. It's completely decorated. The lights are up. The camera's ready to go. So basically, the director could call action at any time, and they could start filming. And so, if they are going to be using the soundstage, it is going to give us, the studio tour, an opportunity to take a peek inside. But again, fingers crossed, this may or may not happen. And again, if it is a dropped item, and then I'll hop out and grab it for you. It is dropped item, exit car 4. I'll be right with you. With Soundstage 50 at the moment, so they need to come in. We need to go ahead and get that fixed up. So I do apologize, folks. We are going to be seeing some other really cool things, though. We will be experiencing some more practical effects a little bit later on in the tour. So we are actually about halfway through the tour. So I just want to remind everybody to remain seated throughout the entire tour. The studio is private property, so if you happen to drop your phone or any other items, remember, pull that red cord to get my attention. I will be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Do remain seated on the tram. Now, we are going to get an opportunity to see a portion of some of the oldest sets we have here on the lot. That's our Western sets. We're going to see that over on the right side of the tram. Our Western sets were being used for the silent Westerns that we were doing when we first opened up. And this is a location where Carl would invite the guests to not only watch the filming of the silent movies, but participate. They were encouraged to clap and cheer when they saw the heroes, and then boo and hiss when they saw the villains. You could also see these sets in modern films, like Quentin Tarantino's 9th film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio. They were also used in the movie Maxine, directed by Ty West. So our Western sets, when they are going to be used, they will actually go ahead and fill up the streets with dirt. There is an entire company here in Hollywood that they specialize in adding dirt to many of our sets. And they also want to make sure that the dirt is not going to have any large rocks in it, or it's not going to be too dusty, because you don't want to get it into your camera equipment. Now up ahead, it looks like Amity Island. Now Amity Island, I do have to let you know, they did have a little bit of a shark problem earlier today, but I was told that the shark was caught by one of our veteran divers, George. Yeah. So he said he was going to go ahead and catch the shark and hang it up so folks would be able to see it. So again, you are going to want to take some photos, but make sure we're holding on tightly to those cell phones. If you drop anything in the water, George said he won't be able to get it back to you because he's just going to be too busy making sure that it is safe for all of us to be this close to the water. Yeah, the beach closed sign, we haven't had time to come by and remove that beach closed sign, but George did assure me that we would be able to go right next to the water. Okay, so let's see where George ended up putting up the shark. Oh, there she is. She's smiling. She's ready for her close-up. Now, George said he was going to be over by his police boat, and I think I see his yellow oxygen tank right underneath the water. We'll see if he'll be able to pop up. Wait, what's that noise? There's another shark in the water. Uh-oh, this one looks much bigger than the one that George caught earlier today. So let's see. George? Hey, George, buddy, if you could pop up. Hey, you're going to need to get back to the boat as soon as possible. There's a big shark that's heading. Oh, good, you saw it. So George has entered hand-to-hand combat with the shark, which is weird because George, sharks don't have hands. They have teeth. Very, very sharp teeth. And it looks like George figured that out the hard way. Well, it looks like it's too late for George, but it's not too late for us. We're going to hide behind these barrels where I'm sure nothing can possibly go wrong. Now, there's some bait on the white barrel out there in the water. The shark took the bait along with the entire pier. This is a very strong shark. Shark is tired. So, shark is not going to appear anywhere near this crab. That was one here with shark because it's not real. That is our mechanical shark prayers of the sharks used for the filming of Jaws, and those sharks were named after Steven Spielberg's attorney, Bruce Raymer, because he said his attorney was a shark in the courtroom. So Jaws was not filmed here. It was filmed over on the East Coast with Martha's Vineyard, and the sharks they were using for the film never tested out in salt water before, so when they put them in the Atlantic Ocean, the salt water corroded the inner workings, causing the sharks to eventually malfunction. Now, the hero of the story was the editor, Verna Fields. She came up with the idea to not show the shark for the majority of the film, thus creating suspense. And her editing skills earned her an Academy Award, and Jaws became one of the first summer blockbusters of our time. Okay, folks, weather effects. So we're going to have a little bit of thunder and lightning. And thunder and lightning is created by using speakers and strobe lights on the buildings up high so the camera won't be able to see them. For rain, we're going to use a similar technique. We're going to take a sprinkler system. We're going to set it up nice and high. See, and it shoots the water into the air, falls down just like that. Now, during the daytime, very easy to see the rain. At night, it's a little bit more difficult. That's where the lightning comes in. Now, with all this rain, there is going to be some flooding. Don't worry, you're perfectly safe. It's usually car 3 that sees it first. So when I see them pointing and screaming, that's how I know the flood is on its way.
June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a greater circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
That's right. Now, coming up on the left, we're going to see the entrance to Colonial Street, which is being used currently for a new television show called The Burbs. It's based off of the movie The Burbs, starring Tom Hanks, which was also filmed right here on our Colonial Street. The television series will star Keke Palmer and will air on Peacock. Now, our Colonial Street is also used for the Ted television series. It's where Ted and John live, and it was Wisteria Lane on ABC's Desperate Housewives. Now, we are currently on what's called Steven Spielberg Drive. We named it after him because of his contributions to the movie industry, and Universal is where he got his start.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
And now we have an opportunity to see those picture cars, any kind of vehicle you're seeing up on your screen. We even have one of the classic 1964 Glamour trams. Next to the Glamour tram, you're going to see the gyrosphere. You do not remove the glass. That's because what you saw in the movie was CGI, so you don't pick up the reflection of your camera crew. We've got the futuristic vehicles from Back to the Future Part 2 coming up on the right side of the tram, and then across from them you're going to see the prehistoric vehicles from the Flintstone movies. And my Fast and Furious fans, we've got one of Dominic Toretto's Chargers. Next to it is the Nissan Skyline that Paul Walker's character drove in Too Fast, Too Furious. And at the very end of the line, you're going to recognize Bumblebee from the Transformers film. I know Bumblebee is next to a Decepticon. That's because they're only enemies on screen. And now around the corner is the Bates Hotel. So the caretaker here of the Bates Motel, he's a really odd fellow. His name is Norm Bates. He lives with his mother up there on the hill. I thought I saw something in one of those windows. It's probably just the sun. Now, Norman Bates, he has been pretty busy this week. It looks like we just caught him in the middle of helping a guest with checkout. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. So it looks like he's going to be cleaning up the room. You've got the little mop and bucket there. The trunk of the vehicle's open, so he's probably helping the guest put their luggage into the trunk. What a gentleman. Oh, wow, he's staring the guest, and she's being put in the trunk. Oh, Norm, not again. I'm so sorry about this, folks. We're going to need to get out of here as quickly as possible. Yeah, Aiden, I think it's time to drive. Faster. Faster, Aiden. Faster would be better. Car 4, I have really bad news for you. Yeah, it was really nice knowing you. Drive, Aiden. Oh, okay. So we were able to escape Norman Bates. I saw you reaching out for him back there. Now we are going to be going by the real Psycho House. And like I said, keep an eye out. See if you can spot someone moving around in one of those windows. Usually if you see something, it's going to be towards the front of the house. My theory is it's because the backyard is a complete wreck. Yes, it is the set from War of the Worlds, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Tom Cruise. So you're going to be seeing a real 747 Boeing coming up over the side of the tram. Paramount Pictures purchased the plane from the Pacific graveyard out in the Mojave Desert and then brought it out here for this scene. They had to chop the plane up into 4 pieces to fit on 4 flatbed trucks, and then they removed the top of the plane so they could fit the overpasses. It took Paramount about a month to create these sets. They filmed here for about 1 week, and all of this was done for a scene that lasted maybe 5 minutes of the entire film.
Sit down and talk about the because it's just something
All hospitals are overflowing and supplies are limited. With many of the roads shut down and others impassable due to the debris, it is unknown when or if desperately needed supplies will be delivered.
So War of the Worlds, they were able to leave these sets here because Universal, Paramount, and Steven Spielberg came up with the agreement to leave these sets so that they could be a part of the studio tour. But Steven Spielberg did ask that nobody gets to film here for 5 years after the release of War of the Worlds. He wanted this to be known as the War of the Worlds set. He didn't want another production to kind of come in and steal his thunder. But we are a rental facility, so after 5 years, Universal started to rent out these sets. Now, one of the first productions to use this area was America's Next Top Model for their post-apocalyptic zombie photo shoot. And then the houses on the right, those have been used for various insurance commercials, and then you can see them in an episode of Community. They had an assignment to do a Habitat for Humanity, and they failed that assignment, as you can see. And then you can see the sets in the music video Fly with Nicki Minaj and Rihanna. So when we were looking at the clips that I showed you from War of the Worlds, oh, the sun is still up right behind you. When we're looking at the clips from War of the Worlds, those scenes actually filmed right here. Now the next sets we're going to be driving through, they're from the movie Nope, but the scenes that took place in Jupiter's Claim, they were not filmed on the Universal lot. They were filmed up in Santa Clarita, which is about 45 minutes north of us. Once they were done with the filming, they deconstructed the set and then rebuilt them so that they could be a part of the studio tour. And they were revealed.
A nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Jupe Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Glad. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. Smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. What's a bad miracle? Welcome to the world of no.
Star's electrical systems. That's why the Sky Dancer stopped working, why all those lights were flashing back there as well. But if you want to know what happened to the Star Lasso experience, well, you're just going to have to check out the movie Nope, because it looks like we are getting redirected. Okay, this has been a pretty crazy tour. What is happening? What's going on?
Look, this might be more serious than I thought. What just happened? This is a secure line. Who are you?
I'll tell you who I am, boy. I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.9 seconds ago, I'm the man in charge.
The hell you are.
Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection Program aboard your vehicle. And two, an international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come. He'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. Other than that, enjoy the ride.
This is not your jurisdiction.
It is now, stink pickle.
I'm so tired of you stink guys stepping in. Just whatever you feel like.
Mute him.
Okay.
That's better. We'll bring your vehicle to a safe location until we have the situation under control. Until then, I want everybody to stay calm. Enjoy the ride. Taking care of business. Hobbs out.
Okay, so it looks like we're here in Sullivan's Truck Repair. So we're going to meet up with Roman Pierce, who'll give us further instructions on how to keep the witness safe. Roman, we're here.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row, like I was saying. So look, see over there? That's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. But that work of art back over there was made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels. Extra fly.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman, one. All right, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone can give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
We're going to be joining them in the race day after party happening in the next bay. To make sure to hold on tightly to those personal belongings. This is another area. If you drop anything, it just gets take a while for us to get it back to you.
FBI, don't move. Neil, that's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not...
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. I got you. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss.
That ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in another second.
See what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. It was on vibrate.
Sure traced us. Ops can't hold forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
And we have arrived at the portion. So go ahead and put on those 3D glasses. They are going to double as your protective eyewear for when we make a fast getaway. So prepare for sudden tram movements. Hold on tightly to those personal belongings and remain seated.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn.
After that!
Okay, guys, it's showtime. Come on, up. This thing ain't moving fast enough. Roman, Letty, hook him up.
I got the bull by the horn!
Now we're moving.
Don't think you're getting away! Put in the claws!
Way to go, Letty. Don't line up the missile shot. Not gonna happen. Don't worry, I got this. Roman, don't shoot. Head for the bridge. Under construction. Everybody hold on. Hit the entrance. Ride or die!
That was Fast and Furious Supercharged. We'll check in with Bob.
Know the job, everybody. You protected the witness and you can resume breathing.
Yeah,
It was crazy out there. You guys read hard.
Now, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it.
They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys look good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
Aw, thanks, Dom. Well, that is the grand finale of the studio tour. We are making our way back to the theme park. Now, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and download the Universal Studios audio app. It's going to give you a lot of information about the theme park, the wait time, attractions. Also going to give you our park hours, and we will be closing this evening at 8 p.m. And you can do mobile food ordering through the app as well. To our annual pass members, thank you so much for being with us today. If you do not have an annual pass, you can always head to the Universal box office and see about upgrading your ticket to an annual pass so that you can come back again and again. And speaking of coming back, plan to come back this April and May to celebrate the best of sci-fi, fantasy, gaming, and anime at the all-new Universal Fan Fest night. Experience your favorite franchises every event night all in one place. To find out more and purchase tickets, visit UniversalStudiosHollywood.com. And if you are interested in purchasing any titles